Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my bull market strategy using the ClostriX indicator and ClostriX bias indicator. The purpose of this video is to hopefully inspire you to try and use ClostriX to formulate your own strategy so that you can trade this bull market efficiently. If you don't know where to find the indicator, you can simply search Money and Mirth /ClostriX in Google search and you'll find the page. In this page, you can take a look at ClostriX and everything that it has to offer. So I recommend that you go and read this. So about the strategy, I backtested this strategy for a while before going live with it. And since going live at the beginning of November, I've doubled a small trading account in the span of 1 month. I'll flash the screenshots and you can see that in the screenshots I started with $574 the beginning of the month, and now I'm above $1,200. This is all done in just 1 month of trading and simply using only ClostriX indicator and the ClostriX bias indicator. Before we dive into the specifics of the strategy, I want to quickly outline my overall approach and reasoning. The core idea is to maximize wins. By compounding the gains I get from the wins, I can steadily grow my portfolio. And to maintain a balanced risk profile, I've set my risk to reward to 1:1. So that means for every dollar risk, we stand to gain $1. I've been using this strategy for about a month now and it's yielded around 20 trades. I'm going to show you my approach using this Coglan Capital trade return calculator. So this trade return calculator basically allows you to see 100 hypothetical trades mapped out based on your current performance parameters. To be able to run the calculator, simply input your current or ideal performance criteria below. I started with $570 as my trading balance, and I risked 4% of that $570. So for every loss, I would lose only 4% of my total balance, and I kept my risk to reward ratio at 1. My win rate, when I was backtesting, I had a win rate of about 80%, but so far with my actual trading, it's roughly around 70%, so I'll just put 70% here. And if I click calculate, you can see that with a starting balance of 570, after compounding my gains, there is a potential of a return of $2,608 or a 358% increase. If you click calculate again, remember that this is all hypothetical trades, randomized. You can see that with this one here, it's now, the end total is now $3,000 with a 437% return. Now this only works if you have a high win rate, because if we change the win rate to, let's say, lower to 50%, if you click calculate, it won't be as feasible. So you can see that after 100 trades, you will only have made 38%. I believe you could even get to negative. So it's very reliant on the win rate. So it's a win rate reliance strategy. To show you what I mean by compounding the gains, if we take a look at the individual trade results that this computer has randomized, you can see with a starting balance of $570, when we lose $23, which is 4% of that 570. That would end up with a $547. Now, you can see that we don't use $570 for the next trade, but we carry on the new balance as a starting balance for the next trade. So with this one, it lost again. So now we're down to $525. But once we start getting on a win streak, if I can find a win streak here. Alright, as you can see here, on the 36th trade, there is a 4 trade win rate. You can see that a balance of 677 when it wins, you win $27, and your new balance is now $704, and now you carry that 704 as your next starting balance for your next trade, and once that trade wins, you make a higher profit of $28 instead of 27. Now as you continually compound, you can see that the gains become larger. The downside to this is the losses also become larger since you're compounding. But the benefit with the approach that I just outlined to you is that our win rate is pretty decent. So a 70% win rate is pretty good, which is why you can see that after 100 trades, you will have made this much. You'll have increased your account. The first part of this strategy is going to your daily time frame. So I have here XRP USDT, a trade that I took recently using this strategy. And if you take a look at the daily time frame, you'd want, so what are you looking for in the daily time frame? You just want to see what trend the coin is in. If you've heard the saying, the trend is your friend, this is basically all that we are doing here. You're looking if the trend is indeed our friend. And you can see with XRP USDT, it is good to go long because the trend is currently in an uptrend. How do you know if it's an uptrend? Well, that's basically up to you as a trader. I'm not using any crazy analysis here to see that this is in an uptrend. By taking a look at it, it is in an uptrend. Typically on an uptrend, you'd see higher highs and higher lows, or if the coin's just like this, going up. There are many ways people look at whether it's in an uptrend. One would be to look at higher highs or higher lows, which this one is forming. Another would be to using moving averages. Sometimes people use a 50 and 100 moving average, and if they cross over, it's in an uptrend. There's so many ways that you can tell, but for me, I just look at it and I can tell that it is in an uptrend. So it is a good way. It is good to make this trade. So that's step one. Step two is going to the 1 hour chart, and this is where the bulk of the decisions are made. Now that we're in the 1 hour chart, I'm going to show you what you need to be looking for. The first thing you want to do is you want to look at your ClostriX bias indicator, which you can find at the bottom here. Now, if you take a look at this indicator, you'll see bars, and you will have these lines here on by default. You can see that this 15 line here, and you can see a negative 15 line here. They are on there by default. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to look at the bars and make sure that they are above the 15 line. That's number one. Number two is you want to look at the price, and you want to wait until price pulls back to the strong level. Now, what is this strong level? If you take a look at the ClostriX indicator, you will see the strong level here. If I click check or uncheck, you will see that it appears and disappears. So the strong level is basically the second moving average looking line here. So you want to wait for the price to pull back to this level. Now, when price pulls back to this level, or the strong level, you want to make sure that the ClostriX bias is above the 15 mark. So this is a go signal for me. After the pullback, after the trade was pumping and it pulled back, it hits the strong level, and you can see that it immediately reversed and went on to hit my take profit targets. For stop loss, my stop loss was placed here arbitrarily. There's really no intricate reasoning for me to put my stop loss there. I just put it there because I saw that it was another below this support level here. Now, I don't put too much emphasis on stop loss because I always expect that when this trade hits the strong level, it immediately reverses and goes and hits at least a 1:1 risk to reward. If you keep your risk to reward to 1:1, it should immediately hit your take profit. I'm going to show you guys two more examples of winning trades that I took using this approach and strategy. One example here is this Avalanche USDT trade that I took, and you can see that as soon as price started pulling back after this run here, as soon as it started pulling back, it hits my strong level here, and the price is above the 15 mark on the ClostriX bias indicator. Sorry, did I say price? I meant the bars are above the 15 mark. And you can see that this area here is a good area for entry because, again, bars are above the 15 mark. It pulls back to the strong level and we expect an immediate reversal. And if we keep our risk to reward ratio to 1:1, well, it is a guaranteed win. In this case, it was a good hand. It was, if you think about poker, it's like double aces. So there we go. Again, here with banned USDT trade, you can see that as soon as price pulled back from this nice little uptrend that it had, it pulled back to the strong level, while the price, sorry, I said price again, I meant bars, is above the 15 mark here, the ClostriX bias. So again, the bars are above the 15 mark, price reverse and touches the strong level, good time to entry. And you can see that it hit my take profit level here. Okay, I've managed to double my account really quickly in less than 100 trades is because I am aware that we are in a bull market, and therefore I did not cap my risk to reward to 1:1. Even though I said to you guys that having a 1:1 risk to reward ratio ensures a high win rate, since we are in a bull market, you could even decide to increase your risk to reward ratio, or you could increase your take profit targets, or you could increase your risk. This is all up to you. You could follow the 1:1 approach religiously, or you could tweak it a little bit to suit your trading style. That's up to you. It's a free world and you are free to tweak and change the strategy accordingly. And you can see with this banned USDT trade, it was not capped to 1:1. It was actually 1.5. And with the XRP trade that we had as our first example, this was not capped at 1:1. So I did take profits about 50% of my trade at 1:1. But since I know that we're in a bull market, it would be a waste. So I took my profits, well, I basically let it run, and I had a take profit at the 5R here. I'll show you the screenshot of my win, and it's a bit bigger than if I only had a 1:1 risk to reward. So there you have it. That's my strategy. Just to summarize it really quickly, what you want to do is you want to look at the daily, see if the coin is in an uptrend or in a downtrend, or if it's sideways, and act accordingly. If it's in an uptrend, then obviously you want to look for longs, and if it's in a downtrend, then you want to look for shorts. Or if it's in a sideways, then you might want to trade, or you might want to adjust your strategy for this strategy. So again, we go to the 1R, you take a look whether if it's in an uptrend or in a downtrend. After that, you go to the 1R chart, you take a look at the ClostriX bias, make sure the bars are above the 15 level, and when the price pulls back, the actual price pulls back to the strong level, and the bars are above the 15 level at the ClostriX bias, then it is a good entry. And after that, you are free to tweak it, your risk to reward or your take profit, how much you want to make out of the markets. So I guess that's it. That's the strategy in summary. So that's my strategy. Thank you guys for watching. Now, before closing the video, I just want to say that when you're trading, it is very important to have your own strategy, or to have a strategy. So you're not buying and selling coins at random or on a whim. You can be at the mercy of your own emotions. Having a strategy allows you to stay disciplined and consistent. It also allows you to mitigate your risk or manage your risk. And I think, in my opinion, that the ClostriX indicator gives you the most fluidity when you are making your own strategy. Just the sheer amount of data that these indicators give you, there should be something in here for everyone. There's really multiple ways that you can use these indicators in confluence or on their own to form your own strategy so that you can trade this bull market effectively. To paraphrase the guy who made this indicator, he said that there's about 50,000 ways that you can trade this indicator, and I don't think he's wrong, because there is indeed a lot of ways that you can trade with this indicator. Just for example, about the uptrend, looking at the daily and figuring out whether it's in an uptrend or not. You could even just say that if this long call here appears, then you can be certain that it is an uptrend on the daily. Or if you use these levels, the strong level and this other level here, I forgot what it was called. It was called the strong level and the key level. If you use these two as, think of them as moving averages, you could see that if they cross over, then that means that there's a long opportunity here. As you can see here, there's a crossover here, and there is a long opportunity indeed. So what I'm trying to say is ClostriX is pretty great, and I implore you to use it. And hopefully I've encouraged you to try out my strategy or try out ClostriX to formulate your own strategy. Yeah, that's it. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.